The Invisible Man is directed by Lee Guanell and it stars Elizabeth Moss, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Aldous Hodge, Storm Reed, Harriet Dyer, and Michael Dorman. The Invisible Man is a reboot of the 1933 Invisible Man movie. This is kind of like a modern reboot of the 1933 classic Invisible Man movie from back in the Universal horror monster movie days, even though the Invisible Man isn't a monster, he's a man. But anyway, it follows the story of a woman who believes she is being stalked by her abusive partner despite him apparently having died. When The Mummy came out in theaters back in 2017, Universal wanted to do a modern reboot of their classic monster movies, and Johnny Depp, their dark universe, as they Universal universe as they call it, the dark universe, and Johnny Depp was supposed to portray the Invisible Man. But because The Mummy, that came out in 2017, that starred Tom Cruise, was a critical and financial failure, I saw the movie, I thought it was boring, and it was just complete boring and dull. So I 100% understand why they scrapped all rebooting, this whole shared universe idea, and Universal Studios, they changed their plans from a serialized universe to films based on individual storytelling. And the project and the studio re-entered development, and I think that's a great idea, because we live in a world where everything has to either be a shared universe, like we're copying Marvel, so studios are copying Marvel with the whole MCU, so we have to have a shared universe. DC did it did not work, and Universal tried it, and also it did not work. So it's either a shared universe or rebooting something classic or awesome. I saw the trailers for this movie. I saw 2 trailers for this movie, and I thought to myself, this looks utter shit. I said to myself, I didn't say it to myself, but I thought to myself in my mind, this movie is gonna be complete shit. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna be terrible. It's gonna be a garbage movie in February. It's gonna be a February garbage movie. But I will eat my words, because this movie is actually pretty good. I really enjoyed this movie. It was pretty entertaining, pretty enjoyable, and Elizabeth Moss, diving into the performance. I haven't seen The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, The Handmaid's Tale on Hulu, but after watching Elizabeth Moss's performance in this movie, it's actually making me interested and intrigued to watch that Hulu movie, The Handmaid's Tale. Elizabeth Moss, she's not like this idiotic. She's the main character of the movie, but she's not idiotic. Her character is not idiotic. Her character is not dumb. She makes some smart, clever decisions, and that's why that's one of the reasons why her character is pretty good and pretty strong. Elizabeth Moss delivers an amazing and strong performance as the lead character of Cecilia. I did like Storm Reed and Aldous Hodge's, acting and their characters, despite, their acting, their characters is not at the same level as Elizabeth Moss's character, but still, I like the performances all around the table. Well, actually, not all, because I thought, some were better than others, and some, there's a lack of something, and, there was a lack of, character or performances, because we haven't, because I think one of the reasons, because we haven't seen much of their characters, because it's not, the movie is not about those characters. It's about Elizabeth Moss's. Even though the title of this movie is The Invisible Man, it's not really about the Invisible Man. I mean, if you've seen the posters, if you've seen the trailers, this movie is it's centering around Elizabeth Moss. She's the main character of this movie, not the Invisible Man. I guess if I have to pick out any flaws, because films are subjective, it's very rare for a movie to be like 100% flawless and, to be 100% flawless and a masterpiece. So yeah, this movie is not perfect. This is not an A+ movie. I mean, expecting, going into this movie, I knew 100% without a doubt that this is not going to be an A+ movie. If I had to pick out any flaws, I guess one of them would be, not a whole lot, but there are a few or a couple convenient things like, oh, this character has this, and this object, I'm not going to spoil it, but this object is going to be used, is going to be used, in the future, in the further story of the movie, or, something else. And, it's, predictable. Yeah, it does get, predictable because of that. But that's pretty much it. So the way they did the invisible scenes and the way they portray it was pretty cool. Especially, it was pretty cool and clever. Actually, I'll keep that to myself because it's a spoiler. With all that out of the way, I'm gonna give The Invisible Man a B+. Let me know what you thought about The Invisible Man if you've seen it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, do all that great stuff. Thank you so much for taking the time and watching my review, and I will see you guys in my next video.